Good evening, Plum here playing World of Tanks, and this is a replay. This has been sent in to me by Lyonsi of the 941st clan from the North American server, no less, so thanks ever so much for sending this all the way across the Atlantic to me. I do appreciate it, and what impressed me about this game was its pure simplicity. And it's really short. This is a 4-minute game, so strap yourselves in, hold on tight. These low tier games are fast and furious. And he's teamed up here with CheeseTouch. There he is in his Cheehy, sorry. And Lyonsi's doing exactly what I do. There he is. So I'm just going to pause the gameplay there just before it all really kicks off and just do a little tactical analysis like they do in American football. The quarterbacks. Lyonsi's our quarterback. I don't know how you play American football, but Lyonsi's taken the route, started down here, went this way, and right now there he is, right where my arrows highlighting him, and he's going to take this little road up here. Now this is a very symmetrical map, very symmetrical. You could fold this thing over, and apart from this big monastery area here, they've got little buildings on that side. It is kind of repeated, so it does play out very samey sometimes, this game, if everyone does the same tactics, but this is going to be a little one-sided in this game. So Lyonsi's going to do his scouting role, perfect tank for it. His friend CheeseTouch is going to be over here. He's going to pull up behind this relatively mild cover, and he's going to be ready to put down fire on anything that comes through the valley floor or anything that Lyonsi detects over here at the enemy base. Now the enemy, obviously they start here, and they've sent tanks down this direction, and they are also sending a light tank. I think it's another PZ-1C is going to appear going this direction to do exactly the same thing that Lyonsi is doing. Now I'll continue playing here, and we'll come back to this little map towards the end of the game. He's on the other side of the valley floor, going up to the enemy side of the valley and doing exactly what I do in my PZ-1C. I try and get over there as quickly as I can because I've got a fast tank. They start taking pot shots, and look at this, he just cannot be hit. It's impossible to hit him. Got his cloaking device on. They know he's there, but they're just shooting anyway. Can't see him. And the gun he's got on it, the 7.92mm Mauser, amazing gun, but it only works up close. You'll see later on it does not work at range. Not at all. Medium range, yep, it's fine as long as you're shooting at tanks' rears or sides. Close up it can even penetrate the front of plenty of tier 3s and nearly all tier 2s, which is an absolute blast when that happens. Yeah, so his teammate CheeseTouch, he's trying to make this gun work, but the shots just keep missing the target on many occasions. If they went to the centre of his reticule, he would have got so much more damage done in this match, but you just have to work with what you've got. Now he's in position now, and we're able to light up targets. There's the Sexton, and CheeseTouch also spots it and fires a shot and misses, and Lyonsi is able to shoot him in the sides and take him apart. Then the FCM takes notice that they're being attacked on their side, spins around, a bit hard to penetrate at this range and on its side. Very quickly gets some damage done, and then CheeseTouch starts to put the shots down, but no, that shot missed as well. Don't worry, it all comes good in the end. So back to the tactical map ever so quickly just to see what's going on, and the enemy team have managed to get their PZ-1C to here, but we have sent a tank over here. And so now he has been held up. He cannot move from this spot until he's dealt with our green tank that's sat here, and he can't do the spotting. He can't do what Lyonsi's doing over here, which is a cracking job of lighting up all the tanks that are here, and he's probably no doubt even lighting up some tanks that are now behind buildings down here. And our team, which is all littered over here in good vantage spots, is able to put fire down and start whittling down the enemy team's armour. So what's gone wrong for the enemy? Well, they didn't get their light tank up here quick enough, and they haven't been able to deal with the tank that's here, so they're held up, whereas they didn't send any tanks here to intercept Lyonsi when he came around this corner, which would have held him up and kept all these tanks back here safe. So the lesson to be learnt, and this map and match just proves it, the effectiveness of spreading your team out and covering all the local avenues of attack. And that is such an obvious one for a light, especially in a low tier game when you've got fast light tanks. I always send my light tank up around this bend. And so should the enemy, but they did it, but just not as quickly as our team did. So at the end of the day, it's their downfall. And so we are now able to crest the ridge, keep lighting up targets. There's the Panzerjäger, that's going to be taken out momentarily, I do believe, in a glorious fireball of death. Boom. And then the curse of the little light tank strikes. Lyonsi does the flying leap, gets tracked. These pesky tracks. They need to be made of something a little bit more elastic. Or super strong, I don't know, adamantium or something. CheeseTouch is continuing to push off down into the valley floor, which is exactly what he should be doing. Supporting his teammate and trying to clear the way for him, frankly. Now the team is in a really commanding spot. It's looking very doubtful now that the enemy team can get them out of this little fix they're in. So here we see the effectiveness of the 7.92mm over, what is that, half a kilometre. It's 340 metres. It's very ineffective. There's about 30 rounds hit, but there's 8 damage. And Lyonsi quickly realises that this is probably futile and gives up on it after this next full clip. There's another 8. Still looks impressive though, doesn't it? Bang, 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 bang. Love that gun. Could fire it all day. Game's nearly over now, so yeah, gives up on that guy. Thinks, I'm going to get a kill shot. Let's try and finish off one more tank, and perfect range. Slaps in the shots of a very weakly armoured tank destroyer, and game over. Thanks guys, it's an end. That was quite refreshing. It was a very simple little game, very straightforward, and hopefully the additional tactical analysis and explanation of what happened in that game shows you what to do and what not to do on that game. Send tanks to those corners of the map straight away. And there we have the scores, and that was good enough for Lyonsi to get his first class mastery badge for that performance and his fire for effect. And unsurprisingly, he also got scout and also patrol duty, and that's a lot of enemy tanks lit up right there. So that's the kind of game you walk away from, and yeah, go make yourself a nice cup of coffee or cup of tea or something to celebrate, because they happen fairly frequently, I suppose, these sorts of games. They're not epic by any means, but it just goes really well. The enemy team fails and your team succeeds, and as a platoon they do very well together. They came joint top, the pair of them, and Lyonsi, being on the front line, obviously did more XP, but CheeseTouch in the back with his more of a sniping gun managed to probably do the most damage on the enemy. Yep, he did 686 damage, more than anybody else, nearly twice as much as anybody else anywhere. So even with what appeared to be quite a lousy gun, not very accurate at all, he was still able to really put the hurt down, and between them they got 5 kills and a couple of medals too for Lyonsi. So a good performance. Thanks for sending that in, and I just kind of wanted to show that one just for a nice simple game with simple tactics. Much of the maps have simple approaches to them, really. There aren't these multitudes of flanking manoeuvres that can be pulled off. They're small maps relatively, world of tanks, and there's only certain ways you can go, and it just shows if your team is foolish enough not to cover each avenue of attack, that's what happens. So if you're ever on Provence and you see that no one's going to cover the approach of one of those roads, go and do it yourself, and you'll probably save the team, I'd imagine, because if what happens, like we just saw in that match, and the enemy can get a light scout tank up there and start lighting you up, it's just a turkey shoot. So bear that in mind on that particular map. And then you don't see this map in high tiers, you only see it in lower tier games, so it happens all the time, and I'm generally the one trying to take advantage of it. So Lyonsi did me proud there with the same tactics I employ in that tank on that map. So keep your heads down, drink plenty of water, and I'll play again soon. Take care. Bye bye.